Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcoin Guides, being my guide for God Hand Hard difficulty. Today we're doing stage 7-5 entitled The 4 Devas Leader. This is going to be the final, pseudo final boss, I guess you could say. The main leader boss, but at the same time we're still not done with the game. We still have a whole entire stage to go through. So, this fight is rather annoying, but phase 1's not too bad. Yes, this is a multi-phase fight. This acid spit thing, it doesn't do any damage. It only just conceals your screen and that's about it. Now, when I get a chance to run away, I'm going to start throwing objects around the room at him so I can just build up a little bit of damage and get as close to phase 2 as I can possibly get. The thing is, I would recommend only throwing stuff in phase 1. Phase 2 is, in my opinion, a lot more difficult to not only land thrown objects, but at the same time, I feel like it's a lot more difficult to, well, just fight him in general. So, I think that saving up your orbs and saving up your God Hand, or at least building back up your God Hand for phase 2, I think is more personally my biggest recommendation I can give for this fight. Now, the thing is, another thing that I guess can be said is you're just going to have to learn the attacks. This guy does not have very many attacks. Learn the attack patterns, and when you get those down, phase 1 shouldn't be too hard. You can easily up dodge or back dodge the acid spit, but even if you do happen to get hit by it, it's not going to kill you. Also, when you're running away from him, especially in phase 1, he takes a really long time to kind of catch up to you, so that's plenty of time to start getting taunts off if you want to do that to build God Hand. So, which of course, you know, at this point in time, why not, right? Something else I guess I could talk about is there's very specific attacks that are very weird and very annoying to kind of watch out for. There's like this specific slash, I can't dead offhand remember exactly what it was, but there's like one where it's like just one slash. It's kind of like Elvis. You know, you got the one slash and then you got like the three slash. And dead offhand, I don't remember exactly, you know, which arm starts it or whatever, but at the same time, that's just something to really look out for. So staying away from him in phase 1, I think is probably what I would say definitely the most preferred way of how I do it. And then once we finally get him into phase 2, I'm going to have to start building up God Hand again, which is where the orbs kind of come into play. And of course, this might take a little bit, but I'm going to have to run around the room and taunt him a little. And honestly, orbs have their definite secondary thing. Oh, by the way, that move right there, that pretty much just indicates he's going to go for a, well, he's going to go for like a charge attack. When he swipes his hands like that together, that's pretty much he's going to go for a charge. Just walk away from him, walk to the side, run to the side, whatever you got to do. Just get out of the way, let him kind of bulldoze, and hit him in the back for a little bit of, I think, possibly extra damage. It always feels like it does extra damage, but I don't have any confirmation on that, so I didn't really test it out as much. When it comes to God Hand, I was more here to win. I was more, you know, trying to look forward to beating these guys down in the most, what I felt like was the most effective way that I could. Now, I don't think I'm going to go and build up full God Hand. I don't think I'd do that. But at the same time, it's nice to have at least one use of God Hand, so that way when you get into phase 2, inevitably, you can at least just use that and get at least two full God Hands going. But yeah, this part might be a little bit boring, but this is pretty much just the most effective way I could find at building, you know, a little bit of God Hand for a little while. And, of course, I gave you guys a little bit of mercy there, and myself, of course, that I was like, you know what, screw this, it's going to take too long, I'm not going to bother with it anymore. Might as well just use my orbs on Chain Yanker. I don't want to use orbs, because, you know, I want to go into stage 8 with most of my stuff. However, it won't be that bad. I have ways around these things, so don't worry, guys. I've got you covered. But the reason, again, why I'm using Chain Yanker is because I'm just basically trying to build up God Hand to its fullest bar without having to run around the room and go for taunts. And typically, you can get at least 2 taunts off on this boss when he's in his pummel state. So keep that in mind. Anything else to watch out for? Well, this move right here is extremely annoying and not super deadly. It doesn't do like a ton of damage, but it does like, you know, DPS type stuff. So it does a good amount of damage over time if you keep getting hit by it. And it's just really hard to dodge. And honestly, again, the entire fight, both phase 1 and phase 2, as annoying as it sounds, or as impossible as it sounds, staying away from him and keeping at a range and building up God Hand and going back in and hitting him that way seems to be, at least for me, the best way of doing this. And of course, going back to the God Hand thing here, I built up just enough to get basically 2 bars worth of God Hand, and once I, pummel him down, activate God Hand, or I guess in this case I go for Chain Yank, but either way, either activate God Hand or activate Chain Yank, but whichever one you prefer, and then finish him off, which I fudged up. That was basically a kill, but I kind of messed it up. That slash is just a 1 slash, you can back dodge it, not too bad. But again, I know it's annoying. I didn't get to show off everything I could. That move sucks. That's a ranged move. Yeah, he gets ranged moves when he's in flight mode. And there's like a thing where he can do where he can fly like super high and just basically just be avoidable. Or, I mean, at the very least, he'll just evade your stuff. And then he'll eventually kind of fly back down. And when he's on the ground like this, that's usually a good opportunity to kind of just go in for strikes. Especially if you don't want to waste up, God Hand or whatever you want to do. But I'm on a pixel health, and I'm not going to take that chance. So that's why I decided to go in for just getting rid of him and getting this finished off. I have no orbs, I have no God Hand for Stage 8, but don't worry. Because again, I've got you guys covered, and I know how to play. So don't worry about that. If you go into the next stage with nothing, you'll be fine. Anyway, that's it for this. That's it for Stage 7. So I'll see you guys for Stage 8. So as always, take care, everybody.